welcome to worship. Please rise in body or spirit, and let's join in singing, There Is More Love Somewhere.
Church of Rochester. It is so good to be with all of you today. I'm the Reverend Sherry Halliday Kwan. I use them and they and she and her pronouns, and I'm one of the ministers that serves this congregation, and truth be told, I'm your preaching pinch hitter today because one of my fellow ministers was supposed to be here, but he's busy being a dad. Ada and Reverend AJ welcomed Hazel to the world yesterday, and so they are in their first 24 hours of being parents. All right, we all get to sit here and relax. We all get to sit here and settle into worship, and nothing is required except our presence. Maybe a little bit more from some of us. I'm leading worship today with Pablo and Jenna and Nicole, and Tracy's gonna offer a reading, and we've got a full house up in our AV deck, and well, it does take all of us. We are a church, and that's not a building, it's not an hour on Sunday, it is a people with a purpose. And our mission is through spiritual connection in community. We listen deeply to others and ourselves, we open to wonder and transformation. And we serve together with love and humility. We come together on Sunday mornings to glimpse a little bit of what beloved community might be and what we're building toward. And well, it takes all of us. Your presence here is a gift. If you're new or newish here, I invite you to stop by the welcome desk or let us know in the chat so we can help you get connected. And if you've been coming for a long time or you want to meet more people, next week, get to church early. At 10:30, we do small group activities and get people talking to each other, connecting, learning more, and weaving yourself into the fabric of this community ever more deeply. We gather here on Sunday mornings. We gather here on the contemporary and ancestral land of the Seneca people, the keepers of the western door of the Haudenosaunee. And we gather with a sense of reverence. We gather with a sense that we have something to give, and also that we come needing something. So if you came this week because you're worried about something, worried about someone else in your life, I invite you to connect with our pastoral care team. You can always give us a call, but you can also connect with someone out in the lobby wearing... Interesting. I just realized I don't know where my stole is. I normally wear a scarf, but we were cutting out crafts during that connection period, and I didn't want to chop it in half. So someone else here is wearing a scarf, a stole. They're the pastoral care team. I am not. I usually am. Things are a little bit weird today. It won't be the only mistake. It won't be the only time we lean deeper into relationship. It won't be the only time we laugh, the only time we know that we are a community that comes together for a reason. So it is good to be with all of you as we start our new season of staying soft, our new season of nebula. If you don't know what that means, I didn't on Friday because I wasn't expecting to preach. We're going to find out together. I could use all of your voices now. As Nicole lights our chalice, we'll join in our unison words. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the glories and mysteries of this great gift.
Come, come, whoever you are, wonder, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. One more time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Last time. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of living, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Hi, I'm Nicole Almond. I use she, her pronouns. And once upon a time, along my career trajectory, I believed I was meant to be a minister in the United Methodist tradition. So I started on that path. I was a lay minister. I even helped lead a tiny church. And I enrolled in a degree program toward a Master of Divinity degree. Now, part of that path is that you have to take part in a multi-step interview process. So in my second semester of the program, I interviewed with the Board of Ordained Ministry. 3-person panel, a little bit of a firing squad, but the whole purpose was to focus on our call to ministry, the candidate's call to ministry. What did you envision your ministry was going to look like? And I had a nebulous vision. I couldn't tell them that I was meant to be in a pulpit, or I was meant to be in a hospital chaplaincy or jail chaplaincy. I could say I was meant to work with people in the margins, sort of like St. Francis of Assisi or Mother Teresa. I had really lofty role models as a kid. They said to me in response, you can do 3 years of pulpit ministry, and maybe your call will become less nebulous. And we haggled back and forth a little bit, and we came to the terms of agree to disagree. So I finished my degree and did not finish the interview process. But that nebulousness led me to a career in healthcare case management. It led me to working with those people falling through the cracks. And it led me to a program that I named before it existed, but that's a whole other story. And eventually, it led me here to First Unitarian, where I now am active in a number of ministries. And isn't that why we come to church? For those times when we have nebulous ideas, where the power is in the words, so that we have a place for that power to grow. I invite you to turn to a neighbor and share a time when you've had a nebulous idea and you've fostered it into something powerful, or a nebulous idea that you'd like to foster. And we'll come back when Pablo brings us back with music.
Good morning. My name is Tracy Nemisek, and I use she, her pronouns. Our reading today is by John O'Donohue, titled For a New Beginning. In out-of-the-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you were ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled, and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is at one with your life's desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure. Hold nothing back. Learn to find ease in risk. Soon you'll be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
I invite you to a time of shared silence. We continue with the words and in the spirit of blessing. May you be a vessel for blessing the world, and may you receive this blessing too. It is a blessing with new parents in mind, but a blessing for all who wait, all who witness, all who want. We will not see Reverend AJ again for 4 months, but this is not vacation. A time to focus, a time to do what one must, a time apart, a time intimately here. We bless this time. We bless the time in our lives in which our attention shifts from what has been to suddenly what is. Can you believe they let 2 people who have never done this before go home with a fragile human baby? Can you believe that you are in charge? Can you believe that you are very much not in charge? Can you believe that all of this continues no matter how terrified you are? We bless this trepidation. We bless the fear and terror of change. And we bless you. You are enough. Whatever the task is in front of you, whatever the world asks of you, you are enough. And you are so different than you were 24 hours ago. Here we find you a continuous human, one who hasn't changed at all, and yet suddenly this title is thrust upon you: parent, widow. Whatever the change is, so much can happen in a moment. We bless this transformation. We bless this moment knowing that it is an unfolding across time. We bless the transformation in each of our lives. Here in this place where each of us is both a vessel and the recipient, we bless time and trepidation and transformation. May Reverend AJ and Ada and all who suddenly have a new blessing and burden, someone utterly dependent on them, something that they carry around, find the kindness of interdependence and the goodness of others to say, here, let me take that from you just for a moment. We enter into community here knowing that our burdens, the weights small and large that we carry on our hearts, are something that can be set down, if only for a moment. And so we enter into ritual to bring what is on our hearts and lay it on the altar of community and spirit. Honoring the complexities of life, I invite you to bring to mind now whatever grief or growth or gratitude is alive within you, whatever's present in your life, to hold it in your heart. And online, you're invited to share in the chat. Here in the sanctuary, I invite you to come forward and light a candle. Or if you'd like an usher to bring you one, raise your hand. May we share in this ritual of community care. May we set our weight down, if only for a moment, and witness to one another's hearts. All that we hold in our hearts for ourselves, for each other, and for the world is held in this community, is held by a love that will not let us go. Amen, and blessed be.
For our musical meditation today, let's sing Morning Has Come. I know some of you might know it, some of you it might be brand new, so I thought we could learn it together and then sing it a few times. So here's the first line. Morning has come. Let's sing that together. Morning has come, then night is away, and night is away. This is the longest one. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Rise with the sun and welcome the So now let's sing this a few times, first with the piano and eventually a cappella. Here we go. 1, 2, and morning has come, night is away, rise with the sun and welcome the day. And as we sing it again, feel free to sing harmonies. Let the sound kind of wash over everyone and see how we do. One more time in unison and then whatever you feel like singing. Here we go. Morning has come, night is away, rise with the sun and welcome the day. Here we go. 1 and morning has come.
Everything our church does for ourselves and others is made possible by what we bring to it. Each week, we practice shared generosity to support the work and witness of Unitarian Universalism in Rochester, and half of our Sunday offering goes to a partner organization working to create a more just and loving world. Today, we share our plate with Worthy Now. The Worthy Now Prison Ministry program of the Church of the Larger Fellowship, the largest UU congregation in the country, connects people who are incarcerated with UU materials, providing support, hope, and liberation. And we invite you to give generously. You can give online at donate.rochesterunitarian.org, by Venmo, or in the baskets here in the sanctuary. If it's time and a listening ear you have to offer, we invite you to become a pen pal by visiting worthynow.org. In the spirit of abundance and generosity, our offering will now be received with gratitude.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Fish in the sea, you know how I feel. River running free, you know how I feel. Blossom on a tree, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me, and I'm feeling good. Dragonfly out in the sun, you know what I mean, don't you know? Butterflies are having fun, you know what I mean. Sleep in peace when day is done, you know what I mean. And this old world is a new world, it's a bold world for me. Stars when you shine.
gorgeous. So nebula. Nebula are the spaces between stars. That like yearning that I'm hearing in the back of the room, that is the sound of a nebula. A nebula is, well, it's where stars go to die, but it's also where stars go to be born. This collection of gas and dust and like really basic elemental particles, hydrogen, that exists between stars. Well, those are nebulae. It's the space between, the exhalation, the breath of spirit. So our story starts before stars, before the nursery of stars, before everything. All there was love. And love was really big and filled the whole universe, but was bored and lonely because love had no one or nothing to love. And so love thought, well, there's got to be something. And so love took its arms and its legs and breathed in really, really deeply. Like sometimes when we tell you to take a deep breath at church, what we really mean is a comfortable breath. In this case, it was not comfortable, like really taking in everything, though there was nothing, so it's complicated. And then exhales, and there is darkness. And darkness is shiny and everywhere and warm. And that's like a big hug and an embrace. But love can't see anything at all because everything is dark. And so love thought, okay, well, there's got to be something else. And so took another deep inhale, squeezing up love's arms and legs and bringing love's just everything in real tight. And exhaling again. And out comes 10 perfect lumps of light. 10 swirling orbs of shining light to dance in the darkness. Now this was really something. Both light and dark, poop. All right, we got something going on now. But the thing about this light is there's nothing to see except other light. And so love thought, well, there better be something to reflect that light so that, well, there'd be a reason for the light. And so, well, love took another big, deep breath, and out comes the earth. And here is the earth with all these orbs of light floating around, and these lumps, which is really what they are, spinning in these glass-like orbs, well, they're lighting up the earth in the darkness. And love is pretty into all of this. There's a little bit of leftover light that didn't make it into the orbs, a little bit of dust. And that's all floating around, as well as these orbs. And love sends the orbs to the earth to light it up even more brightly. But the glass is really fragile, and it all breaks apart, shattering the light, sending it to every little bit of the universe. Love made a mistake. Or maybe not, but things didn't go quite as planned. And so love gathers up some of this other dust that's floating around and makes people. And people start moving around on earth. And love is pretty excited about this because love is actually too big to collect very small things. And those little shards of light, those little sparks everywhere, well, love's going to need some help. And so people, whether we know it or not, are created to help gather up the light after the vessels have been shattered. Now, this is one story of the creation of the world, one story that's told in lots of different ways. And the first time I ever heard it, I heard it from a colleague named Rivka, a colleague who, quite frankly, I didn't totally understand. Now, this, I want to be really clear, says a lot more about me than it does about Rivka. But, well, when I heard this story, of course, this was a story about God. And this is a story that comes from the Jewish mystical text and tradition of Kabbalah. And Rivka, well, this was the first time we were ever having lunch together as colleagues, but I found her to be a bit mysterious in that nothing really felt like a mystery as far as I could tell, based on the way she understood the world. You see, she was the first Hasidim I had ever met, the first, to use a technical sense, ultra-Orthodox Jewish person whose every moment of life seemed to me guided by rules and expectations that I just didn't get. Everything seemed scripted. I'm not that way. As we sat down to lunch that day, after saying prayers for the meal, Rivka told me this story and told me that the reason she says prayers each and every time she gathers for a meal is because, well, one of those shards of light might be right there in your sandwich. Like a jerk, my response is, well, what if you forget? What if you miss one of these shards of light? She was unperturbed. I have 8 children. We eat multiple times a day. Our chances are pretty good that even if we forget once or twice, or even often, most of the time we don't, and probably we'll do okay. And we know we're not alone, and nobody is perfect. Which really challenged me and what I thought of Rivka and the way that she understood the world, this sense of mystery and wonder, and a rather loose grip on, well, I know what my purpose is. It is to collect this light so that the vessels of light might be made whole once again. But, well, this arc is long, and I am not alone, even if I am not perfect. It flew in the face and challenged everything I knew about this person up until that moment, who I thought rigid and uncompromising. So, none of us are perfect. To put themselves in the path of beauty, to put themselves in the possibility of collection, of wonder and joy and love, wherever it might be found, wherever it might be present, knowing that we won't catch it all. Well, that was a beautiful gift to me that day, because I know that none of us are perfect. But look, I'm here today because Reverend AJ just welcomed a child into this world. A few weeks early, but healthy and well, and, well, none of us are perfect, but don't tell that to Reverend AJ, because he definitely thinks that Hazel is. He definitely thinks that this child is a marvel. And look, I know nothing about this kid except for her name and her parents, but I know too that this kid is a marvel. I know that in this season of making New Year's resolutions, that this kid is has already outpaced every single goal that any of us have ever set in this room. No matter what happens to this child, no matter what else the child does from here on out, already in 2024, Hazel Marie has moved from 24 hours ago having never breathed, having never eaten, having never pooped on her own. And now she just does all 3, all the time. Are you knocking down your goals like this? I don't think so. I also know nothing of Reverend AJ as a parent, but I know that he's gone through this massive shift. Now, he's not actually said this to me, but it's common enough. And Andrew Sanjanwala, who's married to Emily up in the AV loft, he said this to us last year about his experience of parenting. He told us that he and Emily were perfect parents right up till the moment when they actually had a kid. The moment we go from all possibility, all love in spinning glass orbs, all gases ready for the creation of a new star, to something tangible and real and human, well, that's when all the things that we didn't plan, or all the things that we didn't want, or all the things that we want but don't have come crashing down. That's when we know that the miracle of life is the birth of imperfection. Now, the secret to babies' growth is that as much as parents might think they're perfect, Babies do not believe that they are. They try new things all the time. They try things that they've already tried and failed at again and again and again, and they are willing to try. And this part is critically important, and this part is not under the control of babies, but this part is critically important to why babies grow. They are cared for. Vulnerable and helpless, this little lump of love is entirely dependent on other people to live. Being cared for, as it turned out, is critical to growth. Now, most of us find that care in our lives is, yes, a part of a network of mutuality that connects us with other people, but much of that caring and growth comes from ourselves. There are literal children in this room, but most of us are not. And, well, this care and parenting of ourselves, it's especially difficult, I want to acknowledge, for those of us who maybe didn't have experiences with gentle and affirming parents. And yet, it is still our task. It is the season of making New Year's resolutions, the season of getting better. And each and every year for the last 4 years, since moving to Rochester and since needing to turn the heater up quite a bit in the winter, my goal has been to drink more water. But here's the thing, I don't drink more water by berating myself for having a dry mouth. I don't drink more water simply by wanting to have more water. I drink more water when there's water around. I drink more water when I, or in this case Nicole, put water here in the pulpit. I drink more water when I have been cared for, when the environment and people around me have allowed me the conditions for growth. As we lean into this season of New Year's resolutions, we can lean on science, lean on studies by human development researcher Dr. Kirsten Neff, lean on a book that my housemate gave me on Saturday when they learned that I would need to be preaching this week, to learn about self-compassion, to learn that no matter how confident we are in ourselves, it is empirically proven again and again that we are more effective at growth and change when we know ourselves not only to be good, as self-esteem teaches us, but that we are good even when we make mistakes, as self-compassion teaches us. That we are worthy and capable and lovable is an inherent truth of the human condition, and our faith teaches us that. But it's easy to know that when things are going well, or when we feel better than others, or when this has gone wrong, but at least we can say, there's this other thing. And yet, there is a deeper truth under all of that. Not only are we good because of this other thing, we are good, period. We are good even when we make mistakes. Self-compassion demands mistakes. Growth demands mistakes. Now, I recognize that some of you may be thinking, this is great for children, but I am an adult. And so here at the beginning of a year, I offer another story of beginnings, another story of creation, this time from the Bhagavad Gita. This time a story of Lord Krishna, who is both sent to humanity and at the historical timeline to save humans from tyrants, and is also named the creator of the universe. Time works differently when you're a god. Lord Krishna arrives to humankind born in a prison cell. Like other stories, some of which we've heard recently, at least here at First Unitarian, gods enter the scene in relatively humble circumstances. It's as if the sacred can be found in a sandwich. Lord Krishna arrives in a prison, and his life is threatened by a tyrant. And so he's whisked away to a rural village to be raised by a cow-herding family. His adoptive parents, though poor, love him dearly. His adoptive siblings, though rambunctious, love him dearly. And Lord Krishna, though a god, steals butter and fruit constantly. These are soft mistakes that I resonate with deeply. I don't steal them from the store so much as my own fridge, but boy, do I love butter. And how like a god am I in this one particular way. And pretty much only this particular way. But Lord Krishna, a child, finds himself with his siblings gathering fruit one day, and though he's very explicitly told, hey, we're all going to gather the fruit, and then we're going to divide it up so everyone gets fruit, Lord Krishna makes a mistake and eats all of the fruit. And his adoptive mother is upset, because this is not how we behave in community. This is not what it means to be kind and generous. This is not what it means to be a child of this family. She doesn't even know that he's a god, but if she did, she might have even stronger feelings about his lack of generosity. Now, Lord Krishna does what any god would do when faced with trouble, which is tries to emotionally manipulate his adoptive mother and says, look, this thing is happening, and I know you're mad, and I don't particularly like myself very much, but let me distract you, and let's look at this other good thing over here. And Lord Krishna opens his mouth, and inside his mouth is every beautiful snow-capped mountain you have ever thought about climbing and decided someone else would do a just fine job at. Inside Lord Krishna's mouth is every expansive desert full of mystery and beauty. Inside Lord Krishna's mouth are waves crashing over his teeth and the depths of the ocean where only creatures who make their own light can be seen. Inside Lord Krishna's mouth is everyone you have ever loved. And a nebula, a nursery for stars. So this is a pretty effective distraction. And Mom definitely forgets that she's mad. But also, it has become clear that in her home is a God, the creator of the universe and the holder of all things. And it's not entirely clear how to care for this being. But Lord Krishna knows that his time of learning and growth is not yet done on this earthly plane. And so, like any god would do, Krishna makes his adoptive mother faint, and she forgets all about all of this and loves him again as a child. To be cared for, to care for oneself, to offer compassion, these are necessary conditions for growth, for development, for a chance to harvest fruit again and share generously. And if this is good enough for a God, it's good enough for you. May we all be children of the universe. May we all be good parents to ourselves in 2024. Amen.
Please rise in body or spirit as we sing together for the earth forever turning.
Sing
of earth.
So, as if we are gods, you are invited to stack chairs with arms after the service. The sacred arrives in surprising places. I invite you to join in voice with me to extinguish our chalice as we close our worship today. We extinguish this flame, but not the lighted truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Go eating butter, go eating fruit, go making mistakes and knowing that not only are they okay, but that they are necessary for growth. Go in love. I love you. And more importantly, I need you to love one another and yourself. Go in peace. Amen.